Spirit's last breath. The images from Mars we'll never forget. The beginning of a Martian odyssey. Spirit arrived on Mars with a mission planned to last 90 days, but its untamable spirit led it to survive more than 20 times that long, defying the harshness of the red planet and human logic. Traveling at over 19,500 kilometers per hour, it entered the Martian atmosphere and gently touched down on a landscape no one had ever seen before. But far from a space fairy tale, Spirit faced countless problems from the start that nearly ended the mission before it began. Software glitches, hardware troubles, and Martian dust seemingly determined to shut down its solar panels. Welcome to Mind-Blown Space, where today we'll relive the final days of NASA's toughest rover. Because Spirit wasn't just an exploring robot, it was a mechanical hero who, with every image sent, made us feel closer to a world that seemed so distant and hostile. The instrument Spirit carried seemed straight out of a sci-fi novel, a drill capable of scraping rocks, cameras capturing the tiniest close-up details, and spectrometers analyzing the chemical makeup of the Martian surface. Day after day, Spirit gathered data and sent photos revealing the history of water, possible life, and a planet far more complex than we imagined. But Spirit's true epic began when its theoretical lifespan was ending. The initial mission was designed for just 90 Sol's Martian days. However, tenacity and circumstance kept it active for more than 2,000 Sols, nearly 6 Earth years, a feat that only Martian dust and its own team back on Earth could explain. During those years, Spirit recorded landscapes of melancholic beauty, captured its own tracks, and revealed rock formations, suggesting ancient water channels and possible habitable environments. A scientific gem, of course, but also a testament to human power to go beyond, even when everything seems against you. Of course, not everything was victory. Along its journey, a front wheel stopped working, forcing it to drag it with Martian patience. Dust storms coated its panels, dropping energy to critical levels and threatening to shut it down forever. But every time the end seemed near, a dust devil swept over its solar panels and brought it back to life. Spirit didn't just explore a planet. It taught us what it means to persist when fate seems sealed. The discoveries Spirit didn't want us to know about. Spirit didn't land on Mars to take selfies or stroll stylishly through red dunes. No. This rover was a tireless worker, a planetary detective who, with its electronic gaze, began revealing secrets that seemed straight out of a sci-fi movie. Among these findings was a rock with a festive name like champagne, hiding more than bubbles. It contained clues about the past existence of liquid water, that essential ingredient for life, or at least for needing a raincoat on Mars. And if you thought science was a walk in the park, get ready. Spirit detected high levels of salt and phosphorus in a place called Paso Robles. Turns out Mars had so much salt it looked like a gigantic forgotten freezer. Water? Yep, the planet apparently had rivers and lakes millions of years ago, but in true Martian style as mermaids, more red sand. The funniest part was when Spirit, trying to move on like nothing happened, decided its front left wheel had other plans and locked up. Instead of giving up, it started dragging it like an old shopping cart with a busted wheel. With that determination, our dear robot covered miles and miles, never complaining about aches or a bad mood. But not everything was glory, because that rebellious wheel led Spirit to get stuck in ground too soft for its taste, trapped as if caught in a Martian sand trap. Don't think it was easy for the team back on Earth. From millions of kilometers away, they tried everything to get the rover out of its jam. Calculated maneuvers, mathematical equations, even begging Mars to be a bit less treacherous. But nope. Spirit was stranded, a dusty red statue reminding us that space isn't all glamour. Meanwhile, the rover didn't give up. With solar panels covered in dust, it dropped its energy production to survival levels but endured, sending data until its batteries could barely stay warm through the freezing Martian nights. In an ironic twist of fate, Spirit gifted us images that looked like they were painted by an artist with a bizarre sense of humor. Long shadows, distant mountains, and a rock some say resembles a Martian little Bigfoot. Yep, the kind of stuff that makes you wonder if we're really alone or just incredibly creative in our boredom. Spirit wasn't just an explorer. It was a master at making us dream of the impossible, be it with a pinch of accidental humor every now and then. Spirit's final battles against the Red Planet. Just when we thought Spirit had given everything it had, the drama mixed with science kicked in. The rover, after years of service and miles traveled, began facing what on Earth we'd call forced retirement, but on Mars translates to dust storms, wheels refusing to turn, and batteries slowly dying. The Martian atmosphere is not exactly a spa for space vehicles. Dust storms are like the worst spring cleaning you can imagine. Tons of dust settled on Spirit's solar panels, reducing its energy generation capacity to critical levels. Imagine having to do your daily job with half the oxygen you need that was Spirit every dust-covered day. And what did our rover do? It waited, because on Mars there's no time to cry, only to recharge. Luckily, or by pure Martian luck, a phenomenon called dust devils showed up tiny whirlwinds that cleaned its solar panels so unexpectedly that NASA engineers almost had to pinch themselves to believe it. Spirit's efficiency went from Walking Dead to 90% energy, a near miraculous resurrection. But not everything was rosy. With one of its wheel motors out of commission, Spirit had to maneuver carefully, dragging the broken wheel to avoid further damage. This not only slowed progress but made it more vulnerable to getting stuck in soft terrain, which is exactly what happened in a place ironically named Troy. There, amid dust and rocks, Spirit faced its last great battle, ground too soft where no amount of calculations or strategy could free it. NASA, with all its technology and brilliant minds, couldn't save its faithful explorer. Thousands of millions of kilometers away, the rover was trapped in a Martian sand prison, immobile, but not defeated. For months, Spirit continued sending images, data, even panoramas of its captivity, like a reporter from a red jail. Until finally, energy loss was irreversible and silence took over. It was like watching an old friend turn off the light after a long and glorious life. That's how Spirit ended, not with a bang nor an epic farewell, but with the cold, dusty calm of the Martian desert, leaving behind a legacy of discoveries and undeniable proof that even the most advanced technology can succumb to nature. Spirit's eternal legacy and the new era of Martian explorers. Spirit may have stopped moving, but its spirit remains as alive as when it landed more than 20 years ago. Though trapped in that sandy pit called Troy, its mission redefined planetary exploration. Because, come on, not just anyone survives more than 20 times their planned time on a planet where there isn't even Wi-Fi. Its legacy doesn't end with the last images or data sent on the brink of battery collapse. Spirit taught us that exploration is much more than technology. It's perseverance, improvisation, and a bit of Martian luck with those dust devils cleaning solar panels just in time. An ironic cosmic wink to our human tenacity. But Spirit's story is just the prologue to the Martian saga. Today, new rovers like Perseverance and Curious space robots follow its tracks, carrying far more advanced cameras and sensor sand, of course, without dragging broken wheels or begging whirlwinds to clear their path. Science learned from Spirit's stumbles to design more resilient, autonomous vehicles, less prone to getting stuck in otherworldly quicksand. It also took inspiration from its discoveries to focus the search for past life in promising spots where water once flowed. And don't think the story ends on Mars. Spirit's spirit lives on in every mission, aiming for new horizons, whether icy moons, asteroids, or those distant places where sci-fi and reality blur. All thanks to that little rover that dared to face the challenges of a hostile planet with a metallic smile and a camera always ready to capture the next mystery. So next time you think about space exploration, remember Spirit the robot that outlasted storms, mechanical failures, and years of silence to teach us that the real engine isn't just fuel, but an insatiable desire to discover the unknown. If this story blew your mind, don't forget to subscribe to Mind Blown Space so you don't miss more tales that strip down the truth behind space missions with a dose of humor and sarcasm you'll only find here. See you on the next journey, and remember, in space, no one can hear your excuses.